night booking week 4. So what we've got this week is another universe mode booking week for you. This is kind of like too much, but it's like a non-entity in the calendar that I've got in my universe mode. First pay-per-view, it's their first exclusive ECW pay-per-view, so make sure that you watch this week. From a video that I did yesterday, I did my Raw booking week 3 because that was at the end of last week, and then I did them. YouTube has made a boo-boo, and for whatever reason it's not live. So if you go on YouTube, for some reason it's telling me that it's processing the video, but it's been saying that for about 24 hours now. My concern here is that from what I've read, people are saying that when it's processing for that long, it's probably not going to go up at all. However, I do have the link for it, so if you do want to watch the event live, as I said, I have the link for you. I can send it you. All you have to do is ask me and I will send you the link. I might even drop it in the description of this video just so that you know that it's there, that you can watch it, and that's how you can follow what happened on Raw. Raw was a great night. It was actually a really cool event. I had about probably 2 or 3 matches that I really enjoyed and loved, and they went well. So go and watch that. Go and see the booking week. The booking week explains everything that happened anyway, so you can watch that and you're not missing out on anything. Now, WCW Monday Nitro. As you guys know, Goldberg is trying to build up the rankings. He's trying to make his way up the ladder to the television title, so he will fight Greg the Hammer Valentine in a normal one-on-one match at the beginning of the night. Second match will be a ranking match between Alberto Del Rio. If you remember Bash at the Beach, there was a $1 million title match which Goldberg won, but Del Rio and Sid were involved in that match. The other 2 participants of that 5-way were the Disciple and Mr. Perfect, and as you would know if you've seen the event, if you haven't, you should go back and watch it. It's a massive 2 hour 17-minute marathon, but it is unbelievable. Loads of fun on that event. Alberto Del Rio and Sid were the other 2 opponents in that 5-way, and so now they're at the point where one of them is going to become the new #1 contender after Mr. Perfect won the vacant title last week on Nitro. So this is all about setting up whoever's going to be fighting Mr. Perfect. Next up, one-on-one submission match with Sycho Sid and Chris Jericho. Again, this is another ranking match in the Cruiserweight division. I think the difference now is that I've settled with all my titles. All my belts have now been distributed that I want on my universe mode. I can't show you here, but I can drop out into here and just show you. So this is going off piste a little bit, but who cares? So you'll see some of the WCW titles. The NXT championships are not WCW specific, but it just so happens that Benoit is the NXT champion at the moment. But you can also see WCW titles won by different people, but basically everything has been given now. Anything that hasn't been distributed right now is a belt that I'm probably not going to use on the game, except for the women's division, which I'm waiting for them to fix the title bug before I can actually do that. Until they fix the title bug where I can't attribute a custom belt to anyone on the game if it's not a ranked belt in my universe mode, it just means that I can't give it out to the women, which means the women cannot get their titles. So they will be having that once the game fixes it. I've been told by WE2k support that will be happening soon. Now, let's get back to the show. As I said, you've got that match with Jericho. The middle match of the evening is another ranking match. It's a tag team match between American Alpha and the B Squad. I think it's B Team or B Squad. Who cares? They're crap. But the point is, they're fighting in a ranking match, and it's actually some of the lower tier tag teams in that division anyway. But it's a good breakup between the first 3 matches of the night, which have been quite high. These are high-profile wrestlers in the higher end of the ranking. This just breaks up those one-on-one matches with a tag match, and also gives you some just a fresh faces on Nitro from what you might be seeing all the time. Next after that, I'm going with whatever the game wants on this one. It's set up Steven Regal versus Scott Norton in a rivalry match. Now, the rivalry is actually between Steven Regal and Buff Bagwell. So I just want to make that little addition for you there. It's a side note that's really important for you to know. I don't know what's going to happen in it, but we'll see what happens as the game unfolds live. So, final match, the semi-final match, I should say, of the evening, is semi-main event, is a WCW title match between Bret the Hitman Hart and Dusty Rhodes. I wish I could do a good Dusty Rhodes impression, but I feel like I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, that's as good as it gets for me with the impression of Dusty Rhodes. So that'll be a title match. It's a singles 30-minute time limit match. I've just added a stipulation for the sake of adding one. I think WCW did that a lot, so I'm doing it as well. Then the main event of the evening, and this is an interesting one. If you watched my Raw is War match, I think it was Raw is War, it could have been ECW actually, a couple of days ago, I made a matchup that was a tag match between two title holders being on either side of the teams. As you can see, Scott Steiner, United States champion, Ric Flair is my world champion, and then I've put the number one contender for each belt on the opposite team. So what you ended up getting is a one belt on each team, one significant title on each team, and then the number one contender. I've done this because it's twofold. One, it's a really good way of doing like killing two birds with one stone and having all of the main eventers that I want on the card with only 7 matches to run with. So it's a creative way of getting people on the card. But the second way is that it mixes things up. It creates a little bit of difference in the card. It creates a little bit of individuality. And it's just something I like to do. And I think that all wrestling companies have to do it, and this is why mixed tag matches happen. This is why they're quite popular, because people want to see not the same stuff, not the same people fighting every week. Even in the midst of a rivalry, people want to see different type of matches being thrown together within that rivalry, because it just enhances the story that you can tell between the rivalry. For example, the fact that, let's say, and this isn't necessarily going to happen, but let's say Ric Flair loses and it's because DDP did something wrong. It then creates different angles and stories. What if Scott Steiner pins the champion? You know, all of a sudden it's like elevating Steiner to a level where he's pinned the world champion. It's all that kind of stuff that you can tell, and it enhances the story. It gives you about 50 new variants of how you can finish a match and how you can justify it. So it's always worth doing those kind of things, in my opinion. And again, it's not a single match. It just throws things out the window in terms of one-on-one matches dominating the card. That, my friends, is the end of this booking video. Like I said, I've told you before, you can watch all of these matches live on my next video, or you can simply read the description on this video, and what that will do is that will tell you all of the winners, spoiler alerts, that you need to know. So if you, for whatever reason, you haven't got an hour to watch Nitro, or however long it'll take me, I think Raw took me an hour and 20 minutes yesterday. If you haven't got that time, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to judge you, but it just allows you to know what the results are, so that on week 5 of Nitro, you're going to be ready to watch it without feeling like you've missed out on anything. So as for this video, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that you are watching these videos. I hope you're enjoying them. Please leave me feedback, whether it's, don't just do the like and the dislike buttons. Please comment. Let me know what you think. The other big announcement that I had for this video, there are actually 2 things. One was the big mention of the DLC that's now been released. I had my first match with Bobby Lashley and EC3 on Saturday night's main event just before I filmed this video, and it was a lot of fun. They're good characters. I've now given them their ratings, so I'll probably do a video on that today. It'll be a nice and short one, just showing you the ratings that I've given them all, the 4 new characters that we have, and the divisions that I've put them in, and etc, etc. So make sure you look out for that video. And finally, commentary. I'm going to do it, people. I've decided I'm going to give it a go. Today, I'm going to do some commentary live on the Nitro video. Now, I'm relying on the internet to stay steady and work, but I do an American accent. I need to give you some warnings here. I don't do my English voice, my normal voice, which is what you hear now. I put on an American accent. I talk a load of crap, but I think it's a bit more fun. It gives a little bit more context to the event itself as it's playing out. And I think I'm just at the point where I'm like, I'm going to try it and see what happens. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, you better let me know, because I don't want to keep doing commentary if it's crap and if it's boring. It's got to be something that's enhancing your experience of watching my universe mode. I also value my voice. I have a wife who I need to talk to and communicate with. I have friends and family that I need to be able to talk to. So if I'm going to lose my voice doing this, that's another reason why I might have to stop. However, at the moment, everything's okay. So until the next video, everybody, I am X Harper, and you have been awesome. What?